We've talked about the creative strategy. We've talked about the media strategy. Now let's talk a little bit about the actual design and execution of marketing initiatives. And here the shift that I want to talk to you about is a shift from a waterfall approach to an agile approach. Now, waterfall versus agile is a distinction that has come to us from the product management and product development literature. What was the key idea in agile? And what was the key shift or change from waterfall? In the waterfall product development process, we start with identification and discovery of the requirements. Once these requirements are frozen, then product development begins. And when the product gets developed, we do testing, and then we launch it in the marketplace. The problem with the waterfall approach is that it's very difficult to do changes once you've defined the requirements. Now, this becomes problematic when your market is highly volatile, when customers are changing their preferences and requirements. So, in response to that, agile methodologies for product development were created. In Agile, what we do is we break the work into small chunks, and these chunks of work are done in short sprints. So there is what we call the product backlog, and out of the product backlog, we take a chunk of work, which is called the sprint backlog, and then we run like heck for 2 to 4 weeks, and we have a working product at the end of it. So this is the agile approach, and there are several agile methodologies, perhaps the most popular one being Scrum and Kanban. So this is a transformation that has happened in the product development literature and popularized by books like The Lean Startup and so on. I believe now the time has come to apply those agile ideas, agile development ideas to marketing. Because marketing is also operated in waterfall mode. We do our marketing plan, we decide on the media and creative strategy, we execute on it, and we measure the results. This whole process could take 6 months to a year. And in fact, it was needed because the media we were working with were not very agile. If you want to buy an ad in the Super Bowl, if you want to do television and print advertising, there are lead times. You need to plan ahead. However, when we get to the world of digital and social media, everything is happening in real time. You can adjust and adapt in real time. So we can now actually be agile. So what is agile marketing? What are some of the principles in agile marketing? One is that we rely on validation and experimentation as opposed to opinions. It's data-driven. We rely on experimentation, and we use cross-functional teams as opposed to silos to come together and work very quickly in rapid iterative cycles to refine both the message and the medium, and to test and respond and go through this learning cycle very, very quickly. Agile requires you to rethink your teams. You need teams that are cross-functional. It requires you to rethink how you actually design a campaign instead of the big strategy and the big creative idea. What we have is lots of little strategies that we experiment with, iterate, and finally get to the result. So I think that agile methodologies are now feasible because our media are agile, experimentation is easy and cheap, and what we do need to do, of course, is change the way our teams are organized, change the way our budgets are done, and change the time horizon over we think about marketing execution. So agile marketing perhaps can be best employed first in your digital activity. Let's say you are launching a new feature on your website. Let's say you're building a new mobile app. Specific projects that you can chunk down, you can start to implement agile methodologies there. And slowly, you can broaden the use of agile so that your entire marketing organization starts to implement this. So I think we need to learn about agile methodologies from product development and need to apply them to marketing so that we can make marketing more predictive, we can make marketing more responsive, more adaptable, and respond faster to the rapidly changing customer needs and competitive contexts. So that is the shift from a process standpoint of being waterfall to being agile.